Hello, everybody. I want to start with breath, with intention, and a release of everything that you have attached to within your being up to this point. I'm coming here today after feeling like there's been a lot of challenge going on in this procession of my life, and I want to extend that to you guys and validating that it's gonna be okay. And if you too are going through a shift in energy or in a mindset or just like in regarding yourself and trying to feel feelings that are coming up, or really just acknowledging parts of yourself that you've once shut out. It's just getting more familiar with the discomfort, and I know that that's what really is the hardest thing for humans, because we will be so familiar with the uncomfortability of what we are accepting, to the point of our pain that we have experienced prior, that we will re-experience it because we think at a subconscious level that we're able to control the narrative about this because we have been through it before. So we kind of produce these situations in our life that repeat the cycle, and it's not ever going to be a source of growth and healing if you are continuously enacting in the same, and so this is really where the devil will try to have you, when he notices where you always fall short. He notices where you have trouble acknowledging yourself or acknowledging compassion or grace in other people. He has been studying you, okay? And he studied your lineage up to this point. So he knows exactly where the people that surround you are enacting in this as well. And it's a big thing for me personally to recognize, okay, well, where am I and how have I been influenced in my life with the family that I have and the friends that I have, and just the whole community of it, because it's not a choice within who you are raised up with, but it is a choice in how you submit your being to those particular beliefs and what you are allowing yourself to be from that, and releasing all of that will let you step into the power that is already here waiting. And it might be a hard concept to really sit with and really take in, but when you actually enact in this, when you make it a part of your life, when you identify with the behaviors and the traits of this individual that is not in alignment with what you have been believing in for such a long time, you're going to feel this weird space of just so much to be filled with, but also it's just like, wait, because I really feel like I don't know what's next, and that really scares me, and I'm sure that a lot of people are like that as well. But you can never discount the fact that even when you are in these uncertain terms, that it's not working out for your benefit. And I believe that if you are really prioritizing connecting back to your root and your spirit, and God, then you are taken care of. He says it in the word. You know, if you are with me, who is against you? And to, you know, dust off the ashes, Zion, like genuinely come back into your power and know that courage is the will of God. And He wants you to walk in that, because truly, why would we walk in anything else apart from that? That is just self-imposed destruction. And lately, honestly, it has been trying to accept shadow parts. And you know, when people talked about it, I would be like, oh yeah, shadow parts. I feel like I know that. But I didn't. It's so much more complex. It's like, okay, you can learn, you can study something, but it's actually like putting it into practice. That's how you actually are able to solidify and are able to regurgitate the information, if you will. And so if you are trying to accept parts of yourself, you're praying about it, you're like, God, I want this to be, you know, healed. I want to let go about this, or whatever you are praying for, change, transformation. Just know that God will allow things to happen that are painful, that produce your natural resistance to it. He will place positions and people in your life and challenges that are meant for you to let go and choose that on your own doing. Because look at it, God is absolutely mighty, and He is the controller of everything around you, and whatever you are experiencing day to day, He will allow these situations to happen. You know how things kind of work themselves out. You know how if you can look back and you're like, oh, I don't even know how that, you know, figured its way out. But it's literally because if you release that control out of your own desire and your sin, then He will fill your life up with the natural law. And if you are diligently obeying His commandments and covenant, then you are being protected, okay? There's nothing that can come between the sword of God and His word. And so whatever He says in your quiet time, when you're praying, you're speaking, you're listening to the Lord, He speaks in ways which are quiet, which are destitute, and in ways where you can only receive that in your personal relationship. For me, it's honestly in my dreams, and then it's really in other people. You know, other people might say things where it's like it has you think. Like, I've heard this so many times. Like, this is the universe showing me through so many different people that this is probably God's plan. Also, you know, when we put things out into existence, when we speak things out into existence about what we want to do, our plans, our goals, or whatever, you have to be very careful about it, because, you know, if you say it to the wrong person, they might not really have your best interests at heart. They might even be a monitoring spirit. They might just not even be aware of it, but are projecting all of those beliefs onto you, which is not in accordance to what Christ says. And that's just why it's important to surround yourself with people who really build you up in Christ and are representing His body, so that we are able to be fed by each other. What I'm saying is that, you know, the devil, he has a plan for you just as much as God does. And so since he has been really observing everything, and it's not to say like, oh, we're not even as the center as we think we are, but we do have a purpose in God's glory. to bring other people to him. And we are the flock, so we really have to be ordinating ourselves towards him constantly. And so basically what I'm trying to get to is that when you have, been led to do things, and God speaks to you, trust that. And it's gonna take discernment on your own, and it's going to have you trust yourself like nobody else has taught you, okay? Even if you have struggled with self-doubt in the past, this is going to be that which is going to strengthen all of it for you, and which is really strengthening your shadow side, because the more that you put trust into God, the more that you're putting that trust back into yourself, and the more that you feel at whole in your whole integration of your parts in your whole system. And the goodness that God speaks over your life, and he says it, he speaks to you in the word, he speaks to you through videos like this, through people in your life that just see the best in you and that have the eyes of the Lord, okay? And so the devil does not know good. So whatever is professed, he will try to spew the opposite. And so, if you feel like you are creatively inclined and you love to do art, and you have dreams of becoming an artist or a singer, or just really expressing yourself in any way, whatever it may be that you really feel inspired to do, he will speak those words of doubt. And it can come through people, it can come through any vessel. It's just like he knows what God has already planned. And so you have to think, like, he's not slick, okay? If you really investigate it, the ones that are arrogant, the ones that are very boastful and prideful, they tell you things before they even do it, okay? So anything that you have that directly conflicts the truth and essence of who you are, do a little deep dive investigation, if you will. Really understand that if you are accepting this, and you're accepting all that comes with that, you are going to accept the life that comes with that through sin. You're going to accept the generational ties that are connected to this, right? So we want to slice through it with God's word and really affirm to ourselves, oh no, because I know my God, and he's with me always, and he's always here to remind me of who I am, and I'm gonna trust in that. And anything that you have really felt insecure about, or that you have a lot of pain attached to, any stories or deep, strong held beliefs that you find yourself enacting in for this familiar safety, I want you to know that this is not what God wants for you. And he's actually trying to bring this up into light for you through his word, through people, any way where he can actually get to you and really communicate towards you. That's what he wants. He wants you to release it to him. And the only way that can be done is you having to become so uncomfortable with the life that you have, where it's going to lead you into his arms again. And some people, they can get really tossed into the wayside by the world, and they will try to do it on their own. And that's why there's just so much hurt, and there's so much addiction and destruction in this world, because it's really fed by this disconnection with source, and people are believing in what they have experienced more than the truth that is on words, but also it's manifested through people, through energy, and like every day you know when you are walking firm with Christ, like there's nothing that you could have done to have earned this. Like it's genuinely, like I can't even say it enough, but like I don't know how I got here, right? I don't know exactly why he chose me, you know, and he chose you for whatever you're supposed to be doing, but like the odds were pretty slim, you know? And I think that you need to be showcasing your talents to this world, regardless of whatever thoughts come in, regardless of whatever you experienced or continuously do. You know, dust that off. We are nothing of this world. We are so much more. And if we honestly acknowledge that and relish in that truth, then we are saved. We really are into eternity. And I just have so much to say about how you can completely change your life with this knowledge, because there's just so much pain that can lead you to feel so what is the word? So controlled and at discontentment and running away from yourself and trying to be busy where you're not even acknowledging what is before you, because you can't even acknowledge it within you because you're not connected to yourself. And you will continuously get in the next relationship or be busy with the next job, or you know, just never be feeling satisfied, always wanting more and never having any sense of gratitude for what you have, feeling so discontent. And it's just such a race where are you even going? You're just really seeking the next high, aren't you? Like that's genuinely what it is. And you know, if you look around, you're just like, oh yeah, like this is normalized, you know, it's normalized. And this is why we need to be on guard. We need to really put on eyes to see far past what, you know, this world wants us to believe. We have to do things on our own terms. You know, we have to set our own personal limits for ourselves in every case where we feel like we might be tempted, where we might be, you know, placing ourselves in a position which God would never allow, you know. And this is why we have to be so aware of why we are doing the things we are doing and check ourselves and be like, in every moment, I'm here right now. What am I thinking? What am I doing? And how do I feel? Like, how do you feel? And that really will guide you. It will. It's really you being with God in that moment. Because that's what he wants to tell you, you know? And making time throughout your day to just speak to him and thank him and glorify him and really just sustain that connection is just so crucial. Because just think about all of the times where you're just like, oh, especially if you have that lone wolf mentality, which I feel like I'm letting go of, but it's like you feel like all you had to do your whole entire life was to be so self-sustained and independent and resilient, where you never even knew what needs you had because you felt like no one was ever gonna meet it, or they didn't, and so you had to take it up on your own, and you had to be that person for yourself. And imagine how draining that is, and how unfair it is for your inner child to take upon that continuously. Like, no, we are supposed to really deny ourselves and take up the cross of God. And we're not supposed to be holding all these earthly traumas and problems and situations that are fleeting as we even think about them. They've already been dissolved, and we're holding on to them because of this emotion that we feel within our bodies and this identity that's connected to them. But we are so much more than that. And so it's just an affirmation of relinquishing all that was, all that is to come, and just think about it as on a level that is right here, right now, and knowing that, like, even if you did something different, or if you had different people in your life, there's always going to be some other challenge, right? And you might even look at people and be like, oh yeah, they don't have it like I have it. But genuinely, how would you know that? How would you? Because we're all sinful in nature, so it's like we all struggle with our own different things, and a lot of us want to cover it and put on our best front in this world, and it's because everyone else is doing it. So if we didn't, then we would be like the crazy ones, you know? And let's just be crazy, you know? Let's be crazy for the Lord. Let's try to fuel that fire back up and make that the steam that we are able to live from in our realities. Because, like, it's the grace has been extended far beyond what we even know. So I think in trying to understand and trying to press in more and be curious and genuinely do things that you never thought you would ever do because the world told you you couldn't, and to do the opposite because the opposite of what God says is genuinely what the evil is producing. So yeah, anything that you've accepted, I'm giving you permission right now. Like, genuinely, just really get into the mindset of the opposite of what you've believed in yourself. Anything that has been holding you back, just try for at least one day to believe that that is someone's literally like speaking in your ear, like that's a lie. Be like, no, that is not me at all. And act in alignment with that other version of yourself, and you'll find that what you will receive is going to feel so uncomfortable. But I hope that the more that you continuously practice that, and that God will show you the way, he will shape your path to that, because it's actually in alignment with you being the best version in his will. And it's not even the best version, it's genuinely just like letting go of the cardinal flesh induced description of who you think you are. And it's coming back to the pure consciousness, which is able to be sustained without any type of confliction. It's being upheld, and it is content with the least. If you go back to that childlike state where you didn't even have any type of knowing until you did. This is like Adam and Eve. Like, we genuinely were kids. We did not know. And then we got into the world, and the world told us. What does the devil tell us? What did the devil tell Adam? That they were naked. What did the devil tell us? That we were full of shame, that we had to feel, bad about ourselves, that we weren't good because, people in our lives said this about us, or the way we were treated, the way that we were responded to, or just the things that happened that weren't okay. Like, who told us this? Okay, the one that rules the world tried to get us, like he got Adam and Eve. And so then we just have to just come back to righteousness. We do. That's the only way. There's no other way here. And I'm going to tell you now, and I'm not going to let you leave without saying it again. You really have to release all of your cares, all of your worries, and give it to the Lord. Okay? That's the only place that it needs to go, and that it can go. And that's basically about it, guys. Yeah. So I hope that you can take this and work it. Thank you, guys, as always, and just fall back into who you are and love that version of you, because it is the most authentic version of you. Bye. Mwah.